House of the National Assembly. It's awaiting presidential assent. Within a week or so, this will happen, probably even today. The Kenyan youth, most of them cannot even talk about what is contained in that finance bill.
Fred, people not talking about does not mean that they've not read it and do not understand what the document contains. Let me tell you, Fred, you see, the responsibility of ensuring that this country is run within the confines of the law is not barely on the...
And by the way, he has worn a mask in protest.
The shoulders of young people. And I'm doing this mask in solidarity with Boniface Karaoke, a young man who was shot fatally for doing nothing apart from just selling masks to cover other comrades who are protecting themselves from police tear gas. And William Ruto has not said anything as the president on that. The National Police Service is telling us lies about that, and we've not seen that fella being charged. In fact, he should be charged immediately, because that is something that happened in the, undercover.
He was arraigned yesterday.
Now, what I'm saying is this: it is not the responsibility of only young Kenyans to ensure that this country is well managed. Those MPs who passed the finance bill yesterday, they also bear responsibilities. And if you look at this, the situation in Parliament right now, in the spirit of broad-based or blood-based government, even if Kenyans decided that they are opposing that thing, today as it is, the government could have still forced themselves and pushed that agenda. But as he has mentioned, major reasons why people went to the streets, and I agree with him that finance bill was just the culmination of everything. We were asking for good governance, end of corruption, high cost of living was too much, opulence in the eyes of citizens from the political class, high taxations, respect to the rule of law. But today, as you look at things, we are seeing the deputy presidents on the streets launching, doing empowerment, left, right, with bundles of money. You cannot even state where the money is coming from. If you are not careful, Fred, we are going to be in a situation where there is a printing somewhere, people go print money in the night and dish them out in the morning. We are going to have serious inflations that we will not be able to deal with. And that's why we are saying, between now and 2027, Kenyans must survive. People must live. But after 2027, we must, in fact, on 2027, during that elections, we must make critical decisions that will save the face of this country. Because up to now, we do not have a nation. Kenya Kwanza regime has ensured that nothing is actually working for the poor people. And that's why you saw, when they said, when people like Gaucho and that MCA fella said that they are going to mobilize goons to the streets, and they did mobilize goons to the streets, those are young people with nothing to do. They are jobless. So if they are told that 2,000 shillings, go and fight your colleagues who are agitating for good governance, they come out and do it. Because the government has strategically ensured that they have nothing serious to do as far as economic empowerment is concerned. But let me tell you, I was looking at what John Mbadi read the other time. And it's unfortunate that State House was given an additional budget of 3.7 billion. And there is no clear breakdown on what they are going to do with that money. In short, they are putting their budget for tea and mandazi. They are just increasing tea and mandazi as people like David Lee and government advisors are walking around and enjoying life. So what we are saying is this. It is high time that Kenya Kwanza regime makes peace with the fact that 2027 is already determined. Okay. And these elections, they lost it on 25th June. And this June 25th plan that we are talking about, I want to tell you here that it will happen. The other time I told you that we will go to Pastor Mwai's church. You thought it was a joke, we were there. I told you that we will be on that streets, you thought it was a joke, and I'm telling you here right now, that 25th June we are going to march peaceably. Okay. Until the police decides to provoke as they are used to provoke. But let me just finish on this. We are going to march peaceably. Youth leaders from all across the country, activists, as my brother will put it, at paid activists or something. But what we are saying is this country needs a joint revolution, regardless of where you're coming from, on what we are doing.
Let's now focus on the plans for June 25th, which falls next week on Wednesday. Hans, we saw what happened last year. And for some reason, we have not had a proper probe or inquiry into the events of last year, meaning that we do not have a report or recommendations on how to handle such things going forward. It was the very first time that parliament precincts were breached. It has never happened before in our country. We've not had that discussion. We've seen the events of the past 1 week, especially when it comes to police and demonstrators. We've seen the kind of criticism directed towards police in their action, fighting dissent, which has ended tragically in the killing of at least one person in police custody, the reckless shooting of another person on the street. And the question everyone is asking, is this what we should expect come Wednesday next week again? That we're just going to see anarchy, chaos, a reckless killing of young Kenyans?
Fred, I want to be among Kenyans who are regretting the incidents of the shooting of Kariuki. And we've seen the speed that the police have done. Those police officers were arrested, arraigned in court. They're still in their custody for the next 15 days for investigation to be done. And I want to correct my friend here that you cannot judge. You cannot make a judgment as a judiciary cannot make a judgment because of whatever was played on a TV or a video. They have to have facts. They always say you might be accusing anybody, but us as a judiciary, we deal with facts. And so.
But what kind of fact you need? That bag was shot live.
I'm responding to you.
Yeah, but you were shot live on camera. What other fact do you need?
So listen, you know, we cannot run the country by activism. We don't run a country by, today, like if something happens, tomorrow you make another decision, you'll ban the whole country. All we know is that Kariuki will get justice. It is in my wish also to see all those people getting arrested, going to being judged, going to prison and so on. But we must be honest to Kenyans that everything has a process. Whether you support the government or not, you can never run the way you want. We have a constitution that does.
You just said that you hope that Boniface Kariuki will get justice, and that Albert Ojwang will also equally get justice.
Yeah.
Yet there are tens of young Kenyans who were killed last year who are yet to receive justice. Where do you get this hope that Boniface Kariuki or Albert Ojwang will get justice this time around?
We've seen the speed of the process that is going. Even for Albert Ojwang, the OCS is in the custody as we speak today, the deputy OCS and the other police officers from Central Police Station. So it is in my thinking that things will happen differently going forward other than it used to happen before. So we hope that this will be a learning lesson to officers who tend to use the powers they have wrongly. Because we cannot say that because whatever happened in Central Police Station or the other day in the street means that all police officers are bad. You know, every family today in this country could be having one member in the security sector, if not police, in the KDF, KWS, prisons, wherever. And all of them are human beings of this country. So not everybody is a bad person. We have many number in thousands. So even those who are manning borders, manning everywhere, they're doing a great job. Today there are people who have been robbed and a police officer is helping them to recover their property. Somebody who has gotten an accident, a police officer is helping them to maybe to get their justice and go to insurance and wherever, get right documents. So there are many good things police officers have done. But